Hi, this is Brent Grover speaking from Evergreen Consulting for Advanced Supply Chain Solutions, powered by IBIS. This month's topic is optimizing product availability, so we're going to talk about inventory management, and that reminds me of a saying I learned many years ago when I worked in a wholesale distribution business. They said you can't sell from an empty wagon, and of course that hasn't changed much. Lots of things have changed in wholesale distribution since the time I've been in the business, but that hasn't changed. So first I'd like to ask you, what is your approach to inventory management as part of your business strategy? Are you focused on the perfect order? Many companies talk about that, and they aspire to the order that's free of errors, of course, free of shipping errors and free of invoicing errors, but they're also looking for a perfect order for their customers, meaning the customer gets exactly what they ordered. They get exactly the quantity they ordered, they get it on time. And the only way that works is through inventory availability. So if you're aspiring to the perfect order, your inventory philosophy is pretty well set that it's all about the customer getting exactly what he ordered every time if possible. Another approach is to say, look, we're not perfect, but we're working on it. We're not there yet, but we are working on it. And a third attitude about product availability might be that you're really focused on inventory turns. You think your service is good enough, and you're just trying to turn that inventory for the sake of making more money. So thinking about in the context of what you're trying to do at your company, one sort of given I'd like to throw out there is that it's really hard to compete on service these days. Used to be lots of distributors would try to distinguish themselves or differentiate themselves better by having better service than their competitors, but there's really not a lot of difference between mediocre service and great service these days, and that's not because great service isn't great. It's because mediocre service is really pretty good. The typical distributor, through having a good ERP system and better trained people, more awareness of the importance of customer service because it's a more competitive world out there, means it's not easy for the customer to see the difference between the best service and what they get from most distributors. But on the other hand, it makes bad service really stand out. Bad service looks really bad, and customers are very aware when a distributor is not good at executing with their inventory management, and therefore inventory availability is the critical success factor. Everything could be working in your business from an inventory management and delivery vantage point, but if the inventory is not there, you cannot not only not deliver a perfect order, you're going to disappoint your customers. So there's a balancing act between the need to keep inventory levels low, and one of the levers in the strategic profit formula for distributors is asset turnover, and a whole big chunk of our assets is inventory. If we're not turning inventory over, we can't turn our assets over. But we also have a need to keep inventory availability high. So there's tension there, and the way management handles that balancing act is critical. So for the companies that are able to provide excellent customer service and still get excellent results from inventory turnover, how do they do it? We're going to talk about that in each of the videos this coming month, but the three things I would point to are the companies that are able to accomplish high service levels with relatively low inventory levels spend a lot of time and money on inventory management. They have very strong communications between their company and not only their customers, but also their suppliers, and I'm going to explain why. And also, they're willing to make the investment in technology, but also in the training, so they have power users in their company who are able to make that technology really work for them. So the key to the perfect order, inventory and receivables being more than 80% of the typical asset blend for wholesale distributor, means that you got to have that asset turnover. That inventory turnover is critical to distributor return on investment. Now, I'll refer to the strategic profit formula in a later session, talk about that, but when it gets down to it, inventory availability is the essence of the perfect order because, as I was taught, you can't sell from an empty wagon. So until next week, this is Brent Grover from Evergreen Consulting for Advanced Supply Chain Solutions, powered by IBIS.